Hi, welcome to the Better Mind Center's YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, the Better Mind Center is a group of mind-body oriented therapists and coaches helping clients recover from chronic pain, anxiety, and depression. We are excited to be with you for our Troubleshooting Your Technique series. In this series, we'll dive deeper into traditional mind-body recovery tools. We will share new perspectives and techniques for you to try during your recovery journey. My name is Rachel Mooers.
I'm Bri Barba.
And today we're going to be talking about safety reappraisal. So first, what is safety reappraisal? So safety reappraisal is a top-down cognitive technique to help soothe the brain and the nervous system using true positive statements. So to do this, kind of how does this work? So first, I think it's important to name that the job of our nervous system all the time is to keep us alive. That is its number one task. Is this a safe situation or is this a dangerous situation? So always, as we go through our life, our nervous system is tracking what's going on here, what's happening now. How familiar is this to what I've experienced before? Is this safe or not? So this is it's there to keep us alive. And this is also a subconscious, automatic, and instinctual process. So, my favorite example for how this works and with safety reappraisal, what we can use this for is this example of a snake in my backyard. So if I'm walking in my backyard and out of the corner of my eye, I think I see a snake, then you can bet without any moment's hesitation, I am jumping back from that snake immediately.
Absolutely. Yeah, immediately. No question.
No question. No time to think about it. No time to go, what kind of snake is that? How big is it? It is this automatic process where I jump back to a place that feels safer. My nervous system's trying to keep me alive. And I don't think about it. It happens right away. And when that happens, my heart rate starts beating faster. All the blood rushes to my extremities.
You are both alive.
Yes, exactly. So after this happens, just a moment, and I'm already 6 feet back from the snake. If I then look over it again, and then I realize, oh, that's not a snake. That's my garden hose. Then, thankfully, thank goodness it's not a snake. Then my nervous system gets to start calming down. That mobilization response gets to start settling because cognitively, I know a garden hose is not dangerous. A garden hose can't bite me or poison me. This is what safety reappraisal can kind of look like. Initially, we'll have an automatic reaction to something our brain perceives as threatening. Then we have a moment to look at it and go, wait, is this actually the danger, the threat that I thought it was? This is what we do when we're using safety reappraisal.
Yeah, and I think that's so important to remember while we're in this process is the reappraisal part, right? It's not just safety from the get-go. Like our nervous system is doing what our nervous system's going to do, right? Autonomic nervous system, unconscious, automatic. We're not going to control that, right? Thankfully, we don't have to control that. That's just going on in the background, right? Saving our lives. So great. But we also want to remember that we have agency in that reappraisal part, right? We get to stop and say, this feels really scary. Let me think about this, right? This feels really scary. Is this what I think it is, right? Let me take another look over there, right? Because if you never look and you just run inside, right? You're not following through on that reappraisal part. You're just kind of like, snake. But when we take that moment and we ask, is this what I think it is? right? So we need to step in at that point and decide, what do I know about this? I know that's clearly not a snake, right? So once we know those things, once we make that clear, then our nervous system says, okay, I'll allow you to calm back down. Right? If we never get there, we're living up here. We're terrified. If you're terrified of snakes, right? Which I am.
Oh,
So anything that moves without legs, scary. We have to take that step, right? That's what we need to remember here. And that's the helpful part is you're not stuck. Just because you had that reaction does not mean I've done it again. I'm here again, right? And it can feel discouraging, but remembering that that's not your cognitive brain that just wants to be there. That is your, nervous system that is looking out for you. And we have a chance, right? We have a chance to reappraise this. We have a chance to look at this, flesh this out, and look at it for what it is.
yeah. I love how you named that, like the discouraging feeling, or sometimes that, like, I know that this is safe. Why is this bothering me? Or why do I get so frustrated with this or scared of it? And this is where we come back to, pain and other symptoms. Those are danger signals. Those are cues to our, that's our nervous system's way of telling us, alarm, something's not okay. So it's not about that initial, I know this is safe. It's about the reappraisal of the sensation of, whatever that reaction can be. We can use safety reappraisal for a lot of things: sensations, reactions, boundaries, all that, right?
Absolutely. And we don't want that mechanism to not be there, right? That's a good thing to have. We are alive because of that mechanism. And the more we allow it to happen, the more we see it for being the mechanism, there's a lot of room that we give it there to just be what it is, right? And not be mad at it, not be frustrated with the response because we have a second chance, right? That's not it. So really taking advantage of that second chance and not so much, well, this is how I reacted in the first place, right? We want that reaction. If that was a snake, that's exactly what you wanted to do. I just jump. If it's not, then you get to calm back down and you get to move closer to it again.
Yeah. So if we were to use safety reappraisal, we're talking about the snake, but if we use this talking about a sensation, so say it's, a pain sensation. I'll use an example that is a real example for me: pain in my back. So that, at first we don't know what it is. I thought something's wrong. Once we know that this is a neuroplastic symptom or a mind-body symptom, where I feel that pain initially, it's going to be, oh no. And sometimes we'd run into, maybe I shouldn't have done that thing. Maybe I hurt myself in yoga. This is where safety reappraisal comes in to go, wait. So we get, oh, wait, I know what this is. This is neuroplastic pain. There's nothing wrong with my shoulder. I'm okay. This part of my body is safe and is healthy. And I know I've had this experience of when I say those things to myself, then that sensation, that little sharp sensation, falls down.
Yeah. You give that permission, right? To say, you've reevaluated this and it's okay, right? And so just with that alone, it gives your body the permission to say, okay, we don't need to do this right now. We can let it go. Sometimes that doesn't always happen.
Yes. Okay. So I'm so excited to talk about this with you, because I think this is one of the common pitfalls that we see with safety reappraisal. And
Absolutely.
maybe I'm not stuck in the, like, is this safe or dangerous? I know what this is. I know this is neuroplastic pain or a symptom, and it's not dangerous. So when I use my safety reappraisal, when I say, I'm safe right now, there's nothing wrong here, and we don't feel those shifts, that calming down, what do we do with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's important to remember that your nervous system, again, is acting in a way to protect you. And sometimes, a lot of times, it needs to be convinced, right? It needs a good reason to believe that this is okay. So sometimes just the cognitive part doesn't feel like enough, right? You're just like, my body doesn't feel it. I know it and I say it and I do the things and my body still doesn't feel safe. And so remembering that we're going to try to get some buy-in, right, from your nervous system. So usually it's kind of like a negotiation. If I'm not feeling safe in this moment, how can I make this smaller then? Maybe I can make this more like a more reasonable offer, right? So can I do something in a smaller way? Can I look at this from an even smaller, right, lens instead of wanting to take like a big leap? Like, I just want to be safe. Why can't I be safe? We have to break that down sometimes. Maybe it's like, can I be safe in this next 10 seconds, right? Can I look at it like this for the next 10 seconds? Because when we put a lot of pressure on, like, I know this, so I should be safe now, right? We're starting to work against that. We're starting to work against the convincing of our nervous system that we're okay because now we're rushing. Now we're pressured, right? And we see it all the time. I see it all the time, even with myself, right? I can know that I'm having this specific pain. I tend to get pain when I'm very rushed, right? So again, I'll do the thing and I'll be like, oh, it's because I did that, or oh my goodness, I shouldn't, and this is coming up. How's this going to go? I'm usually at this point, I can get back to I'm feeling rushed, and I know this is how my body feels when I feel rushed. But sometimes I just need to break it down even smaller. Like, okay, let's not think about what's going to happen in 20 minutes, right? Like, let me be here now. Can I feel okay now? Is there anything that would make me feel better, safer? Maybe not safe completely, right? But breaking it down into smaller steps. Like, what can we do more slowly?
So that could sound like maybe like it's safe to take my time and or it will be okay if I'm 5 minutes late. The world will not.
Yeah, like what seems like really small things or really small shifts can make all the difference because again, we want to be compassionate in this process, right? Because it's not going to be helpful to be harsh. It's just not.
Well, I love how you say that because I think where safety reappraisal techniques come in, where this is a top-down technique. And how we feel is about bottom up. So if we use a top-down, it's okay right now, and we don't feel that difference, then what you're saying of helping it be smaller is so that we can get that felt sense of it feeling better, because these statements should be positive and true, but they have to feel true, not just cognitively, logically knowing that it's true.
Yeah, because our body's picking up on these cues, right? So think about, let's say, a good example of this is a parent with their child who's tying their shoes. Okay, so we'll just take a situation where we've got to go, right? We've got to go. This kid is adamant about tying his shoes. He's in the process of learning, and you're right there over them, and you're like, "We need to go. Just tie your shoe, right? We have to go. Hurry up, do it. You know how to do this." And the kids there are like tying their fingers together, because they're nervous. They're feeling right the pressure. And so as you might, you can think about how could this go better, right? As you're probably not rushing them, right? You're probably allowing them to be like, what do they know? Let's see how they do this, right? How far are they going to get here? And you're allowing this process to happen because you being there over them, pressuring them is not helping them. And they're getting that message whether they realize it or not, right? They're like, I'm being rushed. I need to hurry. I should know how to do this. I'm doing this wrong, right? I'm going to make my mom late. Yeah. Why is horrible daughter? you know, but that's what we do to ourselves all the time, right? We're expecting this shift to just happen, and we're not allowing us to learn that, right? Because your nervous system really has to learn that it is safe. That is why we're here, right? If your nervous system felt safe, right, this work, we don't have to do it, right? But if we're here because our nervous system doesn't feel safe, we have to learn how. We can't just know, right? There's the knowing and then there's the convincing of your nervous system. And so that happens by doing things and saying, oh, yeah, it didn't happen that time. Okay, I was all right this time. And after enough times, right? And that's, that's different for everybody. After enough times, yeah, your nervous system starts to say, you know what? I think this might be okay, right? And that is the process. That's the journey here, is like allowing your nervous system to learn and in a calmer, right? Maybe not calm all the time, but less pressured, lower stakes environment.
I love how you named the feeling part of this, because I think it's so important, and I think that's where so many people get, into why isn't this working for me, or why isn't this feeling the way that I know that it's supposed to feel, and this, like, changing the reappraisal so that we're making space for ourselves to learn, space for this to be a learning process, and space to make mistakes, to fall, to make a knot when we're tying our shoes instead of, that is so important to being able to learn, I can get better and I'm okay in this. And I just want to share, because when you were talking about that, it reminded me of when I was 16 and learning how to drive a manual transmission vehicle. And I'm sitting in the front seat, and, there's a lot I'm learning how to do, right? I'm still a fresh driver, but hands on the wheels, foot on the gas and the brake, and then also foot on the clutch, and trying to do a lot in my life. Yeah. And as I'm, struggling over here, my dad is sitting next to me in the car, and he can hear the grinding of the gears, and like you can see it, like not good out. And he's saying things to me like, it's okay, Rachel, just do it this way, like you're okay. But
not
just
that hard.
Yes. Okay. That message on the front, it's okay. Sure, cognitively, I know it's okay, but the felt sense, you can imagine how I was, my white knuckle, holding my breath. Yes. So if I could redo that experience, well, I think I would say something like a safety reappraisal here would be like, it's okay. It's hard to figure out what this feels like, but you can do this. You're okay. You got this. You're a good driver. Things like this that would help
bringing it down, right? Like, I don't need to learn how to do this today. Like, if I just get the shifts down, the numbers, I'll be okay, right? Like, giving yourself permission to break down the process, right? That we don't have to do it all like this. Of course you want to drive, right? Of course, we're not asking you to not want that, right? It's just giving yourself the permission, like, what is the most conducive environment for you to get through this process?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, I love how you said that about breaking the process down, because, I think with when we learn about this, there's so much hope. We're like, okay, I'm going to get out of pain. I know what this is. I can get there. And we really try to take these big steps, but sometimes that adds more pressure. And so you naming, little bit by bit, that helps us build momentum. That helps us get, good, positive reps in with the tools.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's the kind of thing that your nervous system needs to be convinced that, okay, I'm ready to take another step and another step and another step, right? We don't have to make that big leap first. In fact, it's probably going to be very difficult to do so. And it doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means, okay, we got to do some other things first, right? We got to build this skill up. So, yeah. So sometimes, a lot of times with your nervous system, the quickest way is slowly, because we really want to convince, right, that these things are okay. It's okay to believe this. It's okay to know that you're safe. It's okay to let this guard down, right? It's okay not to send this message. And that doesn't happen quickly.
And it's a felt sense experience, not. Thanks so much. It's so fun to talk with you about this,
It is.
Bri.
I can talk about this forever.
Same, same. Well, we will pause here. So, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. If you are looking for one-on-one support, or if you would like to stay connected, please reach out to us at bettermindcenter.com or on Instagram at better.with.christy, or you can subscribe to our channel to watch other videos. The links are also down below. Until next time.